Fixed joint. Fixed joints are held together by a tough fibre that permits no movement, and these joints also have no joint cavity. An example of a fixed joint is the cranium, because it can't be moved, which allows it to protect the brain. An example of fixed joint used in sports is football, because you head the ball with your head. Slightly movable joint. Slightly movable joints allow very limited movement. The cushion of cartilage stops the bones from rubbing together. An example of slightly movable joints is the joint between two vertebrae, only a small amount of movement is permitted. An example is when a footballer has taken a throw-in during the backward phase. As you can see, the vertebrae is moving. Hinge joint. The hinge joint allows movement similar to a hinge. It allows flexion and extension movements. Examples of a hinge joint are the elbow, knee and wrist joints. An example of when the hinge joint is used in sport is football. When a player kicks the ball, they use their knee joint, which flexes and then extends. As you can see here.
Hell of a player.
Ball and socket joint. The ball and socket joint allows the greatest range of movement. It allows flexion, extension, rotation, abduction, adduction, and circumduction. Examples of the ball and socket joint are the hip and the shoulder. An example of when the ball and socket joint is used in sport is during football, when the participant is taking a throw because the shoulder is rotating. Pivot joint. The pivot joint allows rotation of one bone around another. Pivot joints are found in humans in the neck, forearms, knees and other parts of the skeletal system that are able to rotate. The pivot joint in the neck allows the head to move side to side. Examples of a pivot joint in sport are when you are stretching, you turn your head to side, or when checking your shoulder during a football game.
Start talking.
Saddle joint. This allows movement in one plane and one axis. The bones in the saddle joint can rock back and forth and from side to side, but they have limited rotation. The thumb is an example of a saddle joint. Example of a saddle joint used in sport is when performing a throw during football. This is because the thumb is being...
Come on.
Gliding. The gliding joint allows one bone to slide over another. These occur between the surfaces of two flat bones that are held together by ligaments. Some of the bones in your wrists and ankles move by gliding against each other. Examples are the vertebrae and joints between the carpals and tarsals, which are used during football when running.
Can't. And especially at pace. Make it! Make it!
The condyloid joint. The condyloid joint allows movement in two planes and can produce flexion, extension, abduction and adduction movements. Examples of a condyloid joint are your wrists. Example of a condyloid joint in a sport could be again a throw-in during a football game.
Doing what? Throw-in.
Rubbing. Could also be demonstrated by the goalkeeper throw.